He has an extensive knowledge in business and academia, and as the topic actually dictates, he has an experience in other areas as well. The topic is innovation in journalism, education and research. Let's put our hands together for Professor Gyambra.
Dr. Good afternoon, Philip. It's been a while. I think I'll be able to meet you in person today. You're one of my favorite journalists, I must say, because I regularly have a look at the PM Express, and then my colleague and friend, lawyer, also, I appreciate your presence this afternoon. And fellow journalists here seated, glad to also be part of this meeting. When Dr. Okon spoke to me yesterday, I was wondering what I could say here, but I decided to pull a few abstracts from a paper I recently published, which has to do with innovation in journalism, education, and research. And I intend to draw a few points out of that so we can share a few experiences. As I sat down and kind of synthesizing the key questions that are coming up, I kind of drew up a model of what I think journalism should be about. And so the first thing I intend to present is what I think, in my view, should be an appropriate model of journalism. The core elements of the model, in my view, number one, should cover adequate news delivery. So if we say we are doing the journalism, then we should be able to provide comprehensive and adequate news. Comprehensive in the sense that we don't want to provide news that are full or filled with lapses and inadequacies that people are left to speculate on their own. That's the first element. Number two, if we say we're doing journalism, there should be elements of discourse. In this case, I would say rigorous discourse and analysis. What it simply means is we want to see journalism move to the level where people can move beyond speculations, hearsays, and basic thinkings to looking at the issues behind the real issues and being able to put facts, figures together in a comprehensive manner. The other key ingredient of journalism, in my view, is opinion formation and society transformation. If I talk about opinion formation, I'm not dealing with radical formation of opinions of people in very detrimental formats, but forming the opinions of people in a very positive and collective manner, and then helping by so doing to shape society in a more positive direction. You also have the responsibility as watchdogs, so I bring out the watchdog aspect of the model, and we can also talk about the elements of entertainment. The first controversial point I'll make is, because one aspect I also see coming up is the need to have educated journalists, the need to have educated journalists, etc. But the controversial point I'll make is, in my view, a potential most dangerous journalist we could have is a highly educated one. Okay? The reason is the highly educated journalists have also a tendency, if they don't stick to values of professionalism, values of intellectual soundness, values of objectivity in discourse, they have a tendency of relying on their stereotypes and prejudices in directions of discussions, and then they sit in that high seat of authority to kind of coerce people to accept certain viewpoints. So if we call for highly educated journalists, these should be journalists who also abide by some principles of intellectual discourse and who will be prepared to dissociate themselves from political opinions. I'm sure you might be aware that, but most of the very dangerous historical situations we have across the world, including issues that led to world wars. It will surprise you to know, or the Holocaust, etc. There were heavy write-ups by very educated, and I mean highly educated journalists, some who were professors, etc., who used the power and the might of the pen to help politicians or people who were embarked on certain agendas to realize those agendas. So being educated is a fundamental need, but I feel that the aspects of responsibility, the aspects of ethical journalism, and the need to be responsible for our actions as individuals should be at the center of the whole process of educating the 21st century journalist. Why should there be a need for innovation in journalism education and research? Number one, because we are all aware of the demands that come on today's journalist. Technology has a role. Information spreads at the speed of light. That's number one. Number two, we live in a knowledge society where the average person has an access to information in a very easy format. And therefore, it places a responsibility on us as disseminators of knowledge or news or opinion shaping to be careful in the way we go about disseminating information. So technology is a key aspect. Number two, we talk about societal needs, getting complex and complex. If you are privy to be aware of the SDGs or the MDGs, you know about the needs of society. And if the needs of society have to be met, I believe we need more creative journalism who can bring forth the needs of society, not just political aspects, the social aspects, and humanity aspects. And to be able to do this, it calls for a journalist that is well versed in research, that is able to look at various issues and analyze them properly. I also think we need innovation in journalism education, because if you look at the kind of training that we are even giving to our journalists, most of it is based on Western philosophies. We need what I call contextualized journalists who have a clear understanding of the needs of us as a society. Doc, it will surprise you to know that our journalists write and speak and act in the manner they do, especially in a very volatile political context, Africa. But they do that with less cognizance of the context within which they write. Of course, we could talk about Ghana having established institutions and systems, but we should understand that the context within which we operate is a very volatile one. At the flip of a finger, and a mistake made by a journalist, the center will not hold. So when you write and articulate and function in a responsible manner as a journalist, you should always have the context within which you're operating at the back of your mind. You're dealing with a society where a single policeman is policing 20,000 people. So when you are discussing issues of security within such a context, you should be careful. So when a journalist, for example, has an information he intends to disseminate as news, he should ask himself, when I bring out this news, or I set out this discussion, or I set out this topic, at this time, in this context, Ghana, West Africa, Africa, will I be doing responsible journalism in helping to hold society together and move it to the next level? That should be your mindset. Anything short of that, and that moves into the arena of your views, opinions, what you think should be the ideal, what you think should exist, you'll be setting a dangerous precedence that will lead to the explosion of the entire country. So we need journalists who have a clear understanding of the context within which they are practicing their journalism. The context where those who are right may not always get justice. The context where It's so expensive for the weak in society to pursue justice and fairness because they don't have the means. The context where the processes in terms of the level of literacy and insight of people is limited. You should be careful how you write. How many of us, for example, have even sat down to consolidate or to put together all the viewpoints of the political parties so that in your rural radio station you present in a clear manner, oh, this election we are going to, these are the political parties. This political party in terms of education is saying this. This political party is saying this. This political party is saying this. We think that as journalists, if we follow this course, this will be the outcomes. And you bring it out in a very simple, meaningful manner for our illiterate folks to understand. How many of us are doing that? But what do we want to follow? Topical issues. And when you look at the topical issues very well, it's about individuals, actions of people. And when you go in depth, they have absolutely no semblance to development of society. So I also call for innovation in journalism education, where the average journalist will have the mindset of development, socio-economic development and transformation of our country. We call for journalists who hold our politicians accountable, and that call for courage in the ability to write and articulate. I also call for empowered journalists, and that is why I believe that in as much as you have journalism as a profession that you have chosen to pursue, you need to empower yourself in such a way that you are economically sound, such that you will not need to rely on the inducements of third parties. So I show you a model from church. Look at the churches that we have in our system. Number one, pick a church whose leader, for example, has maybe gone through a first degree education or a master's degree education, is a professional lawyer, or has been in banking, or has been an astute person in society. Pick those kind of people. Look at their church. Look at how they do things, and look at the kind of membership they develop. Compare it with other churches where the person has absolutely no knowledge or establishment in society, living any kind of life, and then they move. Look at their sense of responsibility. Look at their sense of integrity. Look at their sense of handling issues. Compare the two. Is that kind of journalist that I intend to have? And the education in terms of developing journalists should be oriented towards that. So what would I go for? I would go for a liberal approach to training journalists, where we will not have a journalist being trained in the Ghana Institute of Journalism only for news reporting, etc. We can also train him on entrepreneurship. The journalist can operate his shop, he can operate his business, and still practice as a journalist. So that in our system where salaries for journalists are pretty bad, you can be economically stable, and then you can confidently pick your pen as a professional and write without looking at your back. We also need journalism education where we don't develop market and clientele for our programs by virtue of pitching two opposing parties together. What do I mean? We need journalists who have a clear understanding of developing personal and self-brands. If you look at Nana Sakwa, for example, I'm sure that he's not developed his brand. If you look at Komla Dumo, he did not develop his brand by pitching political parties together on his show and therefore making the show popular. What did they do? They research, they develop themselves as persons, they communicate clearly, and they build a certain kind of profile for themselves in such a way that the profile of the journalist sells the program, not the agents who appear on the shows of the journalist sells the program. So that we can move to an era where we will weed out all these NPP, NDC banter on shows and we can have sound, intellectual, practical, development-oriented discourse on our medias. And that is what I call. So this is the kind of innovation I expect to take place on our journalism landscapes, so that by and by, those who chose to operate in the 17th century jungle kind of journalism can stay in the jungle. We want to stand for innovation, transformation, development, and setting the pace for the next level of development for our country, Ghana. Thank you very much.
I thought the whole event had already been summarized. Professor Gyambra just did that. So I think what I'm doing is just protocol, and not necessarily summarizing. But let me see all protocols observed. And as I've always said, that until the lions have their own historians, the tales of hunting will always glorify the hunter. And indeed, if we are the ones who are now going to tell our stories, then let me borrow from the Prophet Muhammad, blessed be on him. He said that if the leaders get it wrong and the teachers get it wrong, then my people will get it wrong. And you are in terms the teachers of the masses. If the leaders have gotten it wrong, and we also get it wrong, and we play it down as Polo said, that look, if I raise the bar, the market woman won't rise to this, the status quo, so let me go down there, then eventually we shall all get it wrong. But I believe that if you build it, they will come. Lawyer Philip Clark, took us through how to avoid defamation. Lawyer, I was laughing when you said that. My wife and I got invited to a movie premiere. Now, if you're a public figure, then there's a certain level at which people can write about you because you're a public figure. So if Joe Blocks was down the road, it wouldn't matter so much. But then if it was Gifty Auntie and Anan Sakwa, then as a media man, you have the right to write a bit more. Anyway, so we get to the cinema and it was late, or the guy was in there. There was a bit of confusion. So they took us to a Chinese restaurant and said, look, eat is on the house since the delay was on us. So my wife and I also sat there and we ate and ate and ate. By the time we came out of the restaurant, the movie had finished. Nobody came to call us to say the movie had started. So we just watched the end bit. She was so upset. And they said, oh no, you have to do the photo shoot with the guys who do the premiere. So we sat there and do the photo shoot. The next day comes and said, oh, Gifty Auntie pregnant. We were just full of Chinese. We had stuffed ourselves with so much Chinese. And there was a picture with a circle in her dress saying, look, we can confirm that Gifty Auntie is pregnant. But we couldn't file for defamation because she's a public figure. So if you suspect she's pregnant, you can write ahead. But on a serious note, I think it is so unfair to just sit in your, behind your microphone or behind your pen and pick an individual, and because you just don't like them, he's on the other side. So slant a story, and especially when you put it online, by the time you go and retract it, all the messengers would have taken the story and have posted it. And even if you post an apology, nobody picks it up. It's just the slander that goes out. And I think as a human being, it's very unfair. And if you eat, your wife is going to glorify you if you drink it. Get 2, get 3, this. And I get a bit worried because there are students, maybe JSS people listening, and when you're in JSS, you're more experimental. And if these things, it doesn't mean you won't drink if you don't hear it, but there's a different effect when you're constantly being reminded that, look, as a man, this will boost your ego, the women are going to call you a Gemini, so go ahead. And they're so cheap. Alcohol is actually cheaper than fuel. Alcohol is so cheap. The whole bottle is like 3 cents. shocked. How did they manage to produce a whole bottle of alcohol for 3 cities in the Doomsaw and all these electricity hikes, able to produce this big bottle? So it must be some cheap content. So I beg of us that if we can, go easy on how we glorify alcohol and sex. GTV of all places break the midday news and say, yeah, drink responsibly. Midday news. So I think it's an indictment to all, because it's sponsored by some aphrodisiac or whatever, so, go and drink it, be 18 and drink responsibly. Really? Is only 18 people listening to the news? No. So we have to be careful, for God and country. And Lawyer Kwekunti spoke my passion, as I always say, that there's wisdom in ancestry. There's a lot of wisdom in ancestry, and in our quest to become modernized, we become westernized instead of become modernized. And so all the good that our forefathers taught us, we throw it away and we copy blindly from other people, and sometimes don't even bother to find out why it is they do things that they do. But we have seen them doing it, so let's do it. They talk in a certain way, they slang in a certain way, they dress in a certain way. There's a richer country, so it must be good. Yes, yeah. But there's so much wisdom in ancestry. And if you follow ancestry, as the lawyer was saying, once upon a time, as black people, what we hated or feared the most was shame. People used to travel to Benin to bring oracles to bury in their houses, only so that shame would never befall that family. And anybody who was born and after the 7th day they give you that name and they call everybody to witness, it was your duty to protect that name. And if you go, especially in the West till today, these are the Tamakus, these are the Kuchaus, you dare not go and steal under that name. You must well run if you are caught. Because they did not want that shame. But gradually, as we became westernized and we started competition and everything, and we lost shame, you could tell somebody, he's stolen that V8 and he's driving it. Tomorrow you buy a second one. And we are all paying the price as to, in terms of development, because people don't have shame. There's no equity in the system. Me, myself, and I don't care what you say. Maybe if we start teaching the young ones coming that, listen, what God gave us that we hated the most was shame, and that bring it back so you have your egos and your integrity. We are the ones who are blessed with the masses who will listen to us. Maybe we will have a new generation who would uphold that virtue of upholding shame. Let me now move to Doc. Doc gave us a good lecture, and he says you should remember the EEE, the CCC, the HHH, and avoid the MMM. And I think if you follow these principles, you see, I don't even think you have to necessarily be a journalist to follow this. But if you are going to grow up one day and get married and have children, even if you don't do that, but you live in the community, go to a church or attend the mosque or something, you must have some integrity. They must refer to you or seek your opinion in something, call you to settle a dispute. Otherwise, why are you living? Because if all you have is money in this world, then you're too poor. If all you have is just a big bank account, then you're too poor. They should refer to you that, listen, he helped the school, he brought a book, he did something. Because when we are dead and gone, nobody cares how much skyscrapers you built. It is just some good principles or things that you did that will be left, and that your generations after you will also inherit. So that goes beyond being journalists. But since we are journalists, then maybe it behoves on us to even hold these principles the more. And Professor Gyambra, I think God sent you here. Because you're running late, man. I think God said, hurry up and go in there and go and just put the icing on the cake for us. I will not even there trying to summarize what you said, but it was just so much on point. Now, whether we like it or not, We are Ghanaians, we are Africans, and we are here. Being Africans too, we are very, very religious. And being religious, I know that if I ask anybody to raise their hands to say, if they think God brought you here by mistake, I mean, like maybe God wasn't looking and all of a sudden Satan produced you as a human being, nobody will raise their hands. And everybody also believes that God did not make a mistake. So there must have been a reason why He made you black and Ghanaian. So the idea that we're going to throw away everything that it is culturally black or whatever it is and wholly adopt things that are English and European could be a big, big mistake. And that's why you're saying that sometimes you may be reporting just like what you heard on CNN, but for them it's one policeman to 500 citizens. Maybe it's one doctor to 500 people. But for us, it's one doctor to 20,000 patients. Northern region, all the three northern regions cannot even boast one dentist. So if you're making a report, how do you do the report for the people listening? It is crucial. It is crucial. When I write that, my opinion, I do about 2,000, maybe 3,000 words, minimum 1,500. I have to read it through, rewrite it, read it through, sit back, say, would it go down well? And my good lawyer friend will tell, I'll call his lawyer, look, you think it's legal if I go this direction? He says, yes, madam, you're okay, or drop this word, or drop that word. And so you hear me on radio, and it's as if I'm talking by heart. I am reading everything. It is not extempo at all. Everything is scripted. And I opened my thing by saying, until the lions have their own issue, I write it down. And then I put ×2 because I'll repeat it. Every single time I'll write it down. So it's not as if you catch me off guard. I'm going off the trolley, man. I'll slip and say something that I shouldn't say. No. Everything I'm saying has been researched. And I've written it and I've cross-checked to make sure that, look, I am within limits. But to you, the listener, I have to respect you by not coming to read to you. I have to come and tell you the story. So I have to act and let it come as if I'm talking extempo. So it's easier for you to listen. Because I have to respect you. You're giving me your hour. The least I can do is unresearch and then come and face you. So I'm saying that I agree so much with Professor Gyambra. You have, once you have the mic, you need to go the extra mile. You need to go the extra mile. And I absolutely detest it when my producer calls me and says, oh, you have that spokesperson from this party and that spokesperson from that party. Indeed, somewhere last year I told them, look, at this trajectory, I'll have to pull off because I am an intelligent man. There are so many issues going on in Ghana, which I can bring, and also I just want to know that I was able to pay, show you respect for listening to me. I was able to tell you something that you may not have known or not paid attention to. And I think if we follow the C's and the H's and avoid the M's, we'll be on that trajectory. I hope that next year or whenever next this event is organized, there will be a larger crowd, and not only a larger crowd, but we'll have followed it. And that gradually, if we build it, I believe they will come. I want to say thank you very much to everyone.
Yes. Please, let's do it again. I'm sure that we all believe that our day has been well spent. And I'm sure that you have all enjoyed yourselves today. And we have learned a bit more. We have all learned and added something, some kind of knowledge to the knowledge that we had before. And the last bit of it actually pricked something inside me and told me that I should do more than I'm doing right now. And I don't know about you, but I'm sure that all of you are on the same wavelength with me. Now, we are going to do the closing prayer. But before we do that, let me just urge my friends, colleagues who are in the media, who have been here, have benefited from this presentations, lectures, and all that, is by distinguished scholars of Africa in collaboration with International Standard Journalists or Journalists Association. And I'm sure that all of you are international standard. One of the things we do is that when we go to such programs, we give some kind of coverage to this kind of programs or the things that we think that people should hear that will change lives. So I'll urge you to give some kind of publication to what we have all seen here. I don't think that I should even tell you, but I'm just reminding you that you should actually give some kind of space to it. And then finally, the last lecture that we had, we issued out certificates. Some people have still not come for their certificates. If you are such a person who is here, I have your certificates with me, so after here you can meet me, tell me your name, then I'll give you the certificate. So on that note, I'll thank you very much. I think that we should thank our facilitators for doing a great job for us today, and then we should thank ourselves as well for actually sitting through and listening, and I'm sure that this is going to be a turnaround in our lives as journalists. Now I will call on Mr. Mark Jerry Osei Ajima to give us the closing prayer.
Shall we all rise up and pray? I want you to commit your soul in the hands of the Lord. Let's pray to commit your soul. Commit your soul in the hands of the Lord. Ask Him to guide you, give you all the necessary divine directions, so that we can become professionals as we've learned today. We are praying. Lord God Almighty, we thank you this afternoon for giving us such a wonderful moment like this. Thank you for our lives. We thank you for granting the knowledge for the organizers of this particular program. Father, keep on blessing them. As you said it in Hosea chapter 4 verse 6, that lack of knowledge my people perish. Now that we've gotten the knowledge, we are not going to perish. We ask for your protection and guidance in our media fraternity. We ask you to give us all the spiritual directions in our job, so that our blessing will become blessings for the development of this nation. And we give glory to your name. In the name of thy Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit, that we pray. Amen. Amen.